Okay, it's officially 7:01, so we're gonna start. Thank you again so much for being here. It is such pleasure for me to be doing this right now. Many people have asked me when am I gonna do a workshop, an online workshop, of course. And I've been pushing it, but now is the time, and I'm super excited. So yes, thank you so much for the interest of being part. Today I'm going to be introducing you, presenting you all the details of a workshop that I'm offering. If there is any question, please feel free to interrupt. This is what we're here for, to answer any questions you may have. So there is a button there that you can see to raise your hand in case you want to do a question. If not, at the end also we're going to have time for that. But yes, please do interrupt me. I just need to do one more thing. So sorry. I'm trying to fix this. Okay, no worries. I'm just gonna do it anyway. Okay. So the Crystal Clear Connection is the name of the workshop, and experiencing the crystal vibrations to grow in presence, self-awareness, and inner connection. This is the title overall that I thought for this introductory workshop. This is a workshop for you to introduce yourself into crystals and into how we can work with them in our daily lives. Even though it's an introductory workshop, it not at all is going to be a superficial one, because we are going to dive deep into the practice. This is what we are most interested in. I am most interested, because yes, we need the theory, right? We need to understand, we need to have a frame of reference, right? From where we can stand to approach crystals. But this is not going to be the main focus. The main focus is going to be the practice, okay? So, and this practice that we're going to be doing is going to be doing mainly through meditation. Later, I'm going to be explaining a bit more. Before going forward, I just want to present myself, talk a little bit about myself, my story with crystals. So I have here, oh, let me just... I have here, yes. This is a collage photo I made to share with you a little bit of myself, my story. So I'm a psychologist of profession. I graduated in 2010, and I was working with children. I was in clinical care for children and teenagers. Then I went into working with teachers in educational psychology, specifically helping teachers how to teach about sexuality and how to teach about emotional development in schools. So that was my job. And then in 2015, I had my first healing experience with crystals. The first stone that came to me, it was the obsidian. So I went to therapy with a therapist. I did not know at all she was working with crystals. And she was working with the yoni egg. I mean, that is my experience. It's the first stone that came to my life. It was an obsidian in the form of yoni egg. And this made me aware of the power of crystals, really. So when people ask me, do you believe in the properties, the healing properties of crystals, I always like to say, I don't believe. I actually have an experience, like I concrete experience that how my therapeutic work increased. Just some events that happened to come into my life from being in this therapy. I have to admit someone is joining us. Yes, 2 people are waiting to join. I'm sorry the interruption. Thank you so much for coming. I think I have, yes, admitted everyone. Yes. Okay, so I was saying, the experience I had with the obsidian really made me aware of that these are just more than just pretty stones. And again, that is why I in this workshop, I want to give more importance to the experience itself. The theory is going to be there, of course. We're going to go through some important topics, but again, it is the practice that we want to dive into, because we want to develop your own experience. Everything we know about crystals is from other people connecting, tuning into the crystals. So, but every experience is very subjective. So we want to have our own experience and get to know crystals through our own direct, personal, and subjective experience. And that is what I want to be there for you, guiding you in that adventure of experiencing. So yeah, crystals help us to become more intuitive, help us to connect with our own self-knowledge. We need to become more sensitive and receptive to these energies. I really believe that the vibrational medicine is in the closest future. This is definitely something that we are going to be, as a humanity, we are going through huge changes. We know that, right? So crystals are in service for this change that we need, the changes we need to do. We need to remember who we are. We need to let go of old patterns, right? System of beliefs that are no longer, that are obsolete, right? So this is what crystals are there for. They are specifically in service, not only for humanity, but for all life in the planet, because all the planet is going through huge change right now. So yes, going back a little bit to my experience, I started collecting the very first crystal I want to show you that I had. It's an obsidian. Just without even knowing nothing about crystals really, I got the very first, all the way obsidian. So yeah, it was, actually obsidian is not even a crystal. It is a volcanic stone. So it is an amorphous mineral. It is lava that cooled down so fast that it didn't have time to actually crystallize. But it is as powerful as any other crystal. For example, here we have a clear quartz. This is the very first point I ever had from my first course, crystal healing course. I did 2 crystal healing courses. One in 2018 in Kerala, and the second one in 2019 in Chile. And yeah, it is really, for me, it was life-changing. Crystals changed my life, because once I became aware of these, like, just synchronicities, I was telling you, synchronicities came up in my life. I met the people I needed to meet in order to work things that I needed. I just, my self-awareness, self-knowledge got expanded. And yeah, I decided to quit my job and go traveling through South America. And in this journey, I got more deeply into this connection with crystals. I started finding crystals wherever I go. I also met my life partner, Aniket, with whom we opened a crystal shop, Punta Cristal. And yeah, slowly my whole lifestyle changed. And crystals are not only my business, they are my passion. And I really feel called to share this knowledge and this connection I have with them, with you. And yeah, this is pretty much what I thought of sharing with you a little bit of myself. I also want to say, for me, meditation has been a huge, important thing in my life. And it is a huge, important thing for the practice. So we definitely are going to be talking as well about how can we boost our connection with crystals through the meditation. And yeah, this is how we can integrate actually the benefits of the crystals. It's not enough to just wear them. It's not enough to just collect them in our homes. We need to actually connect with them. And for that, not for that, I mean, in doing that, I want to say in doing that, we are connecting with ourselves. That is the ultimate goal at the end, is to become more self-aware, to become more present, to embody the truth spirit that we are. That is what crystals help us do. So I want to say, I'm sorry if I make any mistakes in English. I forgot to mention I am from Chile. My native language is Spanish. So I'm so sorry in case I make any English mistake. I'm trying my best. Okay, moving forward. Let's go talk about the primary objective of this workshop. We will learn how to use crystals in daily life, how to integrate them in our daily routines, as well as how to connect and integrate their vibrations. So when we are doing this, the expected result, as I already said, is we will grow in self-awareness, grow in self-knowledge, and presence and inner connection. Secondary objectives of this workshop is to gain basic understanding of how crystals work and how they can help us heal. Learn about the different types of crystals and how to know which one works with which chakra. Understand the properties of basic crystals. Know what uses we can give to crystals in our daily lives. Learn how to work with crystals, and then the two basic concepts for this is the activating and the programming of crystals. Learn how to cleanse and take good care of them. And final, but most importantly, the practice of the meditation that will help us experience, receive, and integrate the crystalline vibrations. So if there's no further questions, I will continue with the presentation. Let's review now the syllabus. We'll go class by class. So this is class number 1, where we're going to be discussing how to see and understand crystals. I will give you a few seconds for you to breathe while I drink some water. Yes, so you will see that in the classes we're going to be having this divided in 2 parts. Part number 1 is the theory, lasting 1 hour. And then part number 2, as we said before, the practice, also 1 hour. In between these 2 parts, we're going to have 5-minute break. And yeah, it is, the first class is going to be, of course, how to see and understand crystals is important. And we are going to cover everything that is really important to know for this first objective in the class. Now, in the practice, we will be working with the clear quartz, of course, is the first class, and we have to start with the master healer, the clear quartz. Yes. So if remember that you can interrupt me anytime, raise your hand, and you can let me know if there's any question, okay? I will be moving forward to the next class. Yes, we're gonna be discussing about some basic crystals and ways to use them in daily life. So there's so many crystals out there that we could actually be covering in this class, but we only have 1 hour. Properties of crystals are not going to be the main importance. We are going to, of course, go through them, but we are going to be focusing in the uses of crystals. What are the practices we can do and how we can do to incorporate them in our daily lives? This is what we are mostly important in the practice and the how to. Okay. Now you will see that in the practice, I have left a space there because I want to leave. I like to be flexible. I like crystals come, right? Like the energy is shifting, and I want to know which is the crystal that is wanting to come for our practice that week. So from now on, you will see in all the practices, I'm leaving a space there because we're going to be actually, while we're going through the course, we're going to be deciding which crystal is coming to connect. As well, if you have a suggestion as a group, we can make a decision as well. We can do that for sure. We can decide while the course is going, okay? Class number 3 will be about how to work with crystals. So here's where we're going to be covering how to activate them, how to program them. And we are also going to be talking about how to meditate, like what is the exact practice in meditation that we are doing. So we're going to be talking about conscious breathing, the importance of practicing neutrality, inner silence, as well as visualization. Visualization is going to be a big exercise that we're going to be practicing during the guided meditations. Okay. So moving forward, class number 4, how to care for crystals. I'll give you some time for you to read. Here, the most important thing is to understand how can we decide which is the best way, the method of cleansing the crystal according to the type. I'm definitely going to be explaining you. It's very simple, very easy to know, but there is some research that we have to do previous in order to know which one is the exact method for how to cleanse. When I mean clean, I don't mean only physically, I mean, of course, energetically, okay? We move forward. Class number 5 is about the recap and answering questions. So we're gonna give a whole class to go back again on all the points that we have covered so far. And if there is any need of going deeply or if there is any doubts and questions, we're going to review them. And as well, I would like to leave some space for sharing experiences about all the practices that we have been doing so far. In the same practice, we will also have time for doing so, for having some more questions about the practice. The meditation, the guided meditation itself is not 1 hour long, it's around 35 to 40 minutes long. So there is a whole structure through the practice as well that is going to be happening because there's a few steps that we have to do. And in doing this, so you will also going to learn what are those steps, why are we doing it the way we're doing it. All this will also be covered in the theory lessons. So moving to the class number 6, we're gonna go a bit more deep into the crystal healing layouts. What are they? And some different layouts, the basic layouts that we can practice according to the intention that we have. And for this class, the practice won't be specifically crystal, it will be a specific layout, of course, that we can all decide together which is the layout we want to experience. Class number 7, we're gonna dive into crystal grids, which is my absolute favorite. Crystal grids, people that have participated in my meditations, they know I love mandalas, creating these beautiful crystal mandalas to do manifestation work as well as anchoring energy. We're going to be going through different geometries and different crystals according to the different intentions and what to do, what not to do, how to work with crystal grids. And of course, the practice will be a beautiful crystal grid to experience. Remember, you can interrupt for any questions. Class number 8. I'm really debunking myths, but I want to leave a full class for this, because I know there's a lot of superstitions associated with crystals, and it's important to cover those. And if you have your own like cliches, myths that you've heard, for sure you can share them and we can go through them in this class. Okay, the last class, number 9, is also a recap and answering questions. Again, we're going to go back and review all the important points and answer any doubts and questions that may be there, as well as sharing the experiences of our practices. Okay, so this is going to the logistics or the about the cost and all. Here is different options for you. You can choose to do just one individual class, which is 1,000 rupees. That will cover, of course, the 2 hours of the session. You can also, if you are someone that, oh, I know a lot of the theory, I'm only into the practice, you can also decide to participate on the practice, which will also be only for 1 hour. Then you can also go for the complete workshop, which of course I suggest to have this experience, that complete workshop. That will cover 18 hours for 8,000 rupees. And or you can also decide, I want to go for all the practice classes. That would be 5,600 for 9 hours. It is possible to pay in monthly quotas. That is no problem. And we will be meeting through Google Meets every Sunday at 7 p.m. I put that as star there because if we are a group and we can go through the majority, if there's any like problem, 7 is not a good timing. I like to stay flexible for that. Whatever the majority says, we unfortunately cannot go through the everyone's schedule, right? But we can try maybe at 5. I do want to do it in the afternoon. Anyway, important note is the classes will be recorded and uploaded to my YouTube channel, where you will have access, lifetime access through this private link. So in any case you cannot make the class, you will always be able to do it whenever you can. I would only ask you to do it before the next session, of course. That is important to keep that order. So there is a pre-registration required. By latest May 2nd, I will be needing your confirmation with the payment of your choice. What is your choice? Is it the complete workshop or, yeah. But I would be needing that pre-registration. I want to know how many are we gonna be. We kind of need a minimum people to make the practices better, because we're going to be doing these meditations, and when we are a group, it makes a big difference. So here I'm sharing with you a few of the feedbacks and reviews I got from people that have participated in my meditations, my crystal therapy that I held last year and this year. Not to read them right now, but in case you want to go through them, they are there available for you to check. The reviews are pretty positive. People have shared their experience, and it's been, yeah. I will, if you want to have this presentation, I can send it to you, no problem. Yes. Okay. One important point I want to mention now is to remember that you might question, like, okay, we're working with crystals, but we are far away, right, in distance. But when you're working with energy, distance is not a problem, specifically because of these two principles, the interconnection. We are all connected to a great whole. We are part of a great whole, and we are always connected. And plus, we're going to be working with crystals that are physically next to us, but also we're going to be working with crystals that are actually in our territories, under our ground, and they are all part of our internetwork. They are all connected. So, yeah, Plus, we have this amazing technology, internet, which exists thanks to crystals, really, the minerals. All the technology as we know it exists thanks to the minerals. So, of course, there's no problem. It is as effective, as real as if we would be doing presential. Same, the second principle, the directionality. Energy goes, it moves wherever the thought, wherever your intention is going, wherever you focus your thought, that is where the energy flows. So definitely I have much experience myself participating in other workshops online. It's as effective as being present. Okay, this is the last slide of the presentation. And I love this photo. This photo is of crystals of my collection. I made this heart. It is from the heart and not the mind that we're going to approach crystals. This is very important to know, because to understand, because we are trying to tune into crystals through the heart, right? It is the language of the soul. It is the feeling. We want to leave the mind aside. The mind always wants to control, always has expectations. We are always wanting a result, and a specific result. It is not necessarily a bad thing. Like when we are programming crystals, we are of course doing them with an intention. I don't want to say that we are not ever going to do that. We are going to also practice that. But the mindset that we want to have is to be open, to allow the experience to happen within ourselves. We want to stay with that open heart and completely trust the process, because crystals are so intelligent. They know exactly what we need. We so many times don't know what we need. And that is why it's so important to practice this openness, to allow the things to happen. Whatever we need to update, whatever we need to clear, whatever we need to balance and understand from ourselves, we need to be from the heart to allow that to happen. Yes, so when we are working with crystals, it is basically they are going to help us become aware of our own self, and that is what it is important to mention now. Whatever we are ready to integrate, as I said, it's going to happen with the help of crystals. And that is always my intention when I'm sharing this with you. It is to allow that to happen, and it is to connect, to align ourselves to our highest purpose and our highest well-being. That is the main the goal. That is what we are trying to do. Okay, so one last thing I want to say, and with this I've finished the presentation, is that crystals can be truly magical, but they cannot do the work for us. As long as we are becoming responsible of all the changes we need to do, right? They will help us to do that impulse. They will help us to rise our vibrations, to expand our knowledge, our understanding. But if we are not doing the things we actually need to do to make those changes, to be aligned with our true self, right? Nothing is going to change. No matter how many crystals we collect, or we work with, we actually have to be responsible of our own processes. But that is exactly why it's so beautiful to work with crystals, because they help us ease the path. They help us accelerate our processes and go deeper. That they are so happy to do that. They are part of that change, as I said before. Their own mission is to be in service for this exact thing. They are great allies for us to move forward in our growth and in our evolution. And that next step of evolution for us is a consciousness evolution, bringing this new consciousness that is definitely the next step for humanity. That is what I'm so happy to be doing this now, and it is, yes, part of my own purpose in life. And Christos have been asking me to do this for so long, but for me, the talking to a camera, the online is a whole new thing, is a challenge. But I'm so happy to be doing it right now. It cannot be perfect timing. And yes, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time, your attention, and please, if there is any question you have, there is some to discuss it right now. And yeah, the presentation is finished. So please, if you want to say anything, or if you have any question, we can do that now. I hope I was, yeah, I think I covered everything. I think, okay. No, I don't see any hands raised. Okay, thank you, Neha. That was great. Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you for being here. You cannot know how happy I am to be doing this. It's, yeah, I'm just thrilled. And yes, thank you, Kanchan. Thank you so much. Yes, so please message me when you decide to be part of this beautiful journey that I'm inviting you. Yes, thank you. And I will be finishing then now. Thank you so much. Hope to see you next Sunday. Yes, next Sunday we start 3rd May. Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you so much. Yes, next Sunday, 7 p.m., we'll be starting our first session. So please do message me if you want to join. Again, have a great evening. Bye-bye.